Good morning, everyone. Just write in the live chat option if I'm audible to you. So, the topic of today is ecological niche. Or, good morning, everyone. Just write. So, the topic is ecological niche. We are going to talk about this. But before that, before beginning with that, let us have a small introduction about Unacademy. So, Unacademy is one of the India's largest platform for the preparation of CSIR UGC NET and one of the best platforms on the available online. A little introduction about myself. I'm your educator Farida Johar Bandukwala. I have a teaching experience of 10 years. I've qualified MP SLET examination and presently I'm pursuing PhD from School of Biotechnology DAVV. If you are opting for Unacademy, what all things you are going to get? You're going to get daily live classes so that you can every time ask your doubts and queries in a live class and you will be always in that momentum of studies. Then the syllabus is quite structured so that you can complete the 13 units in a well-defined time because the time required for completing the 13 units can be quite lengthy. But if you are wise in selecting the topics you need to read for CSIR, that way you can skip that tedious job and make it a smart job. After that, there are live tests and quizzes. Live tests and quizzes will make you understand that how much you have learned so far. It will actually evaluate yourself. And whichever category you are choosing for, you will be getting unlimited access of all the videos which have been previously recorded and the videos which will be done in future. So unlimited access on the YouTube channels and special classes and plus platform if you are going for the subscription. If you are saying that free live class, so the Unacademy tries to give these free live class on YouTube and special platform. These are the two places where Unacademy tries to give the free live classes. So presently you are watching the YouTube live class on the Let's Crack CSIR UGC NET platform, and here teachers they try to make the whole syllabus quite accessible to each and every student so that they can be able to get the benefit of a free live class. Then I'll tell you a little about a special class. For a special class, what you need to do is you need to download the Unacademy Learning app. You can download this Unacademy Learning app from Play Store. After downloading the app, what you need to do is you need to make your account and use my referral code FB01 for getting the access of the special classes. So use my referral code FB01 for getting the access of all the special classes whichever I am doing. And when you're using my referral code FB01 for special class, what you can do is you can watch the videos of other faculties member also. Soumya Ranjan Dash is saying, ma'am, good morning. Good morning, Soumya. So use my referral code FB01 for attending the free live classes. After that, there is a plus subscription. This plus subscription is a paid subscription. What you need to do is you need to take the subscription and start your learning. So if you are saying that 12 months and 24 months subscription, so for 12 months recently a major discount is going on, that is for 54%, and for 24 months 67% discount is going on. So for 12 months it will cost you 11,550 rupees and for 24 months it is going to cost you 16,800 rupees. So this is very pocket friendly and a major discount is going on, and go for a 12 monthly or 24 monthly subscription. It is really going to make you qualify the examination. After that, if you are using my referral code, then you will be getting a 10% discount. So do not forget to use my referral code FB01. So the amount for 12 months will become 10,395, and 24 months it will become 15,120 rupees. So when you are going for this plus subscription and using my referral code FB01, you will have the access of all the videos of all the top educators under one subscription. You'll be getting live quizzes, mock tests, courses and batches. So just go for the subscription. The price, discounted price, is going on till 31st of December. So the topic of today is concept of ecological niche. Ecological niche. So whenever we are dealing with this topic of ecological niche, it is not a singular topic that we are just talking about ecological niche. We need to know about what is the meaning of ecology, what is the meaning of environment, what is the meaning of certain many things, right? So we'll be doing ecological niche, a kind of introductory lecture for our ecology part, right? So we'll be talking about all the definitions and terms. So when we are saying ecology, the meaning of ecology, it's a branch of biology that deals with the relation of organisms with one another and their environment. So branch of science, and specifically in science, branch of biology that deals with relation, important word, that deals with relation of organisms to one another, and to their environment, So simply, when we are saying ecology, what do we need to know? We need to know the relationship between the organisms with each other and with their environment. Relation with one another and with their environment. This is the definition of ecological niche. Now the another term that we are coming across over here is environment. What all things are going to come under environment, right? What all things will be considered as environment? So the surrounding or conditions in which a person, animal or plant live will be considered as its environment. So environment is nothing but surrounding or conditions in which a person, animal or plant lives is environment. Environment is the surrounding and conditions, that is temperature, salinity, humidity, conditions in which the person lives, that is the environment. Now if we are saying environment, so what all things will be coming under it? So vast number of things would be there, so they can be divided into factors. So factors of environment, So what are the factors of environment? Biotic factors, and second is abiotic factors. Biotic factors and abiotic factors. So the thing is quite clear. Biotic, the one which is living, and abiotic, the one which is non-living. So let us just have an idea about biotic and abiotic factors. So the living part of an ecosystem is called as biotic component. Living part. So living part, what all things will come under this? Plants, animals, birds, fungi, etc. will come under the biotic factors. When we are saying abiotic factors, so most importantly it consists of non-living part, right? So biotic living part and abiotic non-living part. So this is quite the basic. Abiotic non-living or non-biotic components. So what all things will come under this? sunlight, then a temperature, then water, air, soil, and many other things will be considered as the abiotic components of the factors of the environment, right? So all the animals and everything, they'll be coming under the biotic, and for abiotic, all the physical conditions which is non-living in nature will be called as abiotic factors. Now moving ahead and talking about the ecological niche. Ecological niche. What is an ecological niche? So this was the topic of today, right? So we need to know the ecological niche. So it is the role and position of a species in its environment. In its environment. So what two words are coming over here? Obviously we know that niche is something in the environment only, right? So now the two words, the role, what this niche is doing, what this person is doing, role it is playing towards the abiotic components and towards the biotic component, like what is its interaction with other species, what is its interaction, what is its dependency on sunlight, water, those all things role, and what is its position, that if this species, its number goes down or its number surpasses a particular limit, so what impact it is going to have. So the role and position of a species in its environment is called as ecological niche. Now what all are the factors which are going to affect the ecological niche? So energy, that how much energy it requires from the surrounding, then what is its mode of nutrition, or in which other species it depends for its nutrition, then what is its timing of activity, whether it is active in night or whether it is active in day, so timing of activity. Then nutrition will also be considered as what they eat, so this thing. Then where do they live, what is its nest, where does they live. Then condition of temperature and moisture. These all are the factors which influence the ecological niche. So energy, nutrition, timing of activity, nest, and condition of temperature and moisture defines ecological niche of an organism, right? Now coming to the concept, that who gave the concept of ecological niche, discovery of the word ecological niche, or this particular thing, who gave this idea. So the idea of ecological niche was given by Charles Eldon in year 1917. So remember such words for your state level examination, because they are usually asked. The idea of niche was given by Charles Eldon. So plants, they occupy their own ecological niche. Animals, they occupy their own ecological niche. They are not going to interfere with each other. After that, the main concept of ecological niche was given by Charles Eldon. But there comes another scientist. His name is Hutchinson. So Hutchinson also gave the concept of niche. So now it is called as Hutchinson's niche concept. So the original niche concept was given by Charles Eldon, and the another niche concept was given by Hutchinson. So what does this Hutchinson has to say? So it is a description. It is a description of the ecological space occupied by a species. Occupied by a species. So it is the ecological space. So the definition which we follow these days, or the concept which we keep in mind while talking about niche, we consider both of the things. We consider space, we consider role, we consider position. These three things are the important things when we talk about niche. We have to look for these three things. That is the space which it is occupying, then role it is playing, and what position it has in that particular ecosystem. Right? Now moving ahead and talking about types of ecological niches. Types of ecological niche. So the types of ecological niches, they are of two types, that is fundamental niche and realized niche. So two types of ecological niches you need to know, fundamental and realized. Now let us talk about fundamental and realized niche. We'll try to make a column for this. So let us take another page and let us discuss that ways. That is fundamental niche and realized niche. Let us elaborate this thing. So range of environmental conditions in which each of the species survive and reproduce is its fundamental niche. So what all we are saying? Range. It's a range of environmental conditions. Range of conditions in environment in which each species survive and reproduce. So that is a range. Remember this thing. It cannot be a strict condition that no, it has to survive and reproduce only at 37 degrees Celsius because that is the normal temperature. So no, not like that. There will be a range with minimum and maximum. Range of conditions in which a species survive. Two important things it has to do. Survive and reproduce. If it is going beyond this particular range and they are unable to reproduce, then also it won't be its fundamental niche. After that, it is larger. The fundamental niche is larger. It is larger because we are saying that it's a range. So it has to be larger. Then elaborate various role of the species. Each species is going to play elaborated role. Elaborate role of each species. A single species is going to have many role. So these are some of the details of fundamental niche. Now let us talk about the realized niche. So how it can be defined? It is the range of environmental conditions in which species is really found. So I'll try to explain this. First, let us write the first thing: range of environmental conditions in which a species is really found. Now there is for example, there is a water body. In that water body there are some places where there is less amount of sunlight reaching, and there is some part where more amount of sunlight reaching because of the maybe algal growth or eutrophication. In yesterday's class we have done eutrophication. So maybe a place where there is lesser sunlight and a place where there is ample amount of sunlight, and there is a place where is excessive amount of sunlight reaching the bottom of the water body. Now the plants or the animals, phytoplanktons and zooplanktons, they are not going to actually go in all of the areas. They are going to be found in a certain place which is their comfort zone. Like we don't go out in sun and stand all day. We try to occupy that particular space which is comfortable for us. So realized niche is that particular space where an organism or a species is found. So it is also range of environmental condition, but it is that particular place where it will be found. Maybe there is a whole big tree and a bird can go and sit on any of the branch. But if it is preferring a middle branch or a lower branch, that is its realized niche, and this whole tree can be its fundamental niche. So realized niche and fundamental niche, these are the two things. I hope the thing is clear, that which thing will be called as fundamental niche and which thing will be called as realized niche. After that, it is a smaller, so like if we are saying a bird can sit on any of the branch of the tree, but if it is preferring a specific branch, so when the specificity will come, then definitely it is a realized niche. Soumya is saying, ma'am, for example, if our city is ecosystem, then our home campus is niche. Is it right, ma'am? Yes, that is the niche, because organism will go and it will roam in a space where it has to go. But the outskirts of city, where they don't have to go for their maybe job or purchasing or that thing, so our colony, a place where a person freely roams and go for its work, is its realized niche. And the outskirts of the city, where he rarely goes but can go, it is not so that he won't go, but if he is going and he is just going for leisure activity, that is the fundamental niche, outskirts. And for example, I'm having a shop in my colony and I'm having a residence, so where will be my movement, to and fro movement, from my house to my shop and maybe nearby places for purchasing. So that is my realized niche, and the whole city where I'm living is the fundamental niche, right? So when we are saying that it is smaller, so what other thing will come in this? Portion of fundamental niche is the actually filled niche. It is the filled niche. Portion of fundamental niche. Portion of fundamental niche that is actually filled. That is actually filled. That is the place where there is density. Like in our city, the place where we live, it is highly dense, and outskirts of the city, it is less dense. So it is the portion. Realized niche is not a separate place from the fundamental niche. For example, if this is the fundamental niche, this is the realized niche. So fundamental niche and this is the realized niche. So realized niche is a part of fundamental niche. Remember, realized niche and fundamental niche. Right? After that, I'm going to tell you about competitive exclusion principle. Competitive exclusion principle. Competitive exclusion principle. So this competitive exclusion principle is also called as Gauss's law. Gauss's law. Why is it called as Gauss's law? Because it was given by George Gauss. This term was given by competitive exclusion principle. This term was given by George Gauss. So it is also called as Gauss's law. Though he gave the term competitive exclusion principle, but afterwards the whole principle, its name was in a layman's language, it was also called as Gauss's law. So do not get confused. Now we are talking about Gauss's law. Okay. So definition. First of all, definition. What it has to say: two species cannot occupy the same niche. This is the definition of competitive exclusion principle. Two species cannot occupy the same niche. Two species cannot occupy the same niche. Like we were just having an example of a tree and bird preferring the middle branches and lower branches. So for example, there is a sparrow and there is a crow. They try to come for rest on a specific tree. So they cannot occupy the same branch. Either there will be a kind of cooperative behavior between crow and sparrow, that sparrow, it will be occupying the lower branches and crow will be occupying the upper branches. So that will be kind of a mutual understanding, because two species cannot occupy the same niche. So if a niche, they can exist, many different species, they can occupy the same ecological habitat, they can occupy the same place, or the uh, ecosystem, they can occupy a same ecosystem, but they cannot have the same niche. Why they cannot have the same niche? One thing I've told you, that they cannot occupy the same space. See, cannot occupy the same niche. So when we are saying niche, what three things should click in your mind whenever you come across the word niche? Three things that should come in your mind is one of the thing, the space it occupies, space it occupies. Then the another thing that should click in your mind is its role, that what role it is playing in that ecosystem. And lastly, its position, that if it goes away, this particular species is removed from this ecosystem, what impact it is going to have. So that is going to define its position. So two species cannot occupy the same niche, means they cannot occupy the same space, they cannot have a same role, they cannot have a same position. A sparrow is going to feed on fruit, and a crow is going to even clean up the dead bodies of a dead dog or a dead cat or a dead rat. So definition saying the role of crow cannot be played by sparrow, and its position, the role of crow and the position of crow cannot be taken up by sparrow, and what a sparrow is doing cannot be done by crow. So two species cannot occupy the same niche in terms of its space it occupies, the role it plays, and the position it has in that particular ecosystem. So that is the competitive exclusion principle, and that is our Gauss's law. Remember this. Now moving ahead and talking about the things which are responsible for this niche it cannot share. So why it cannot share a same niche? Why? Because of the competition of food. I hope there is no disturbance in the background. If you are listening this thing, please reply in the live chat that is there any kind of disturbance. After that, competition for habitat. These two things will actually stop the species from sharing their niche. The two things, competition for food and competition for habitat, will stop them from sharing the same niche. These two things, these two factors will stop species to share same niche, right? These are the two important things. Now whenever we come across the term niche, we are always in that particular confusion, which thing can be called as habitat and which thing will be called as niche. So let us make this thing also clear for ever, that which thing will be called as habitat and niche. So we'll be summing up our lecture with this thing, that habitat and niche. So let us discuss this. Habitat versus niche. This is the thing. So niche we have already discussed, isn't it? So let us talk about habitat first, and then the comparison of habitat with respect to niche we'll be saying. So habitat is a place where actually organism lives, including biotic and abiotic factors. So all of the parameters would be there, address of the organism would be there, and the niche contains the selective parameter. The profession or the job of that particular species will be included in niche. So the thing that is included in habitat will also be included in niche. Like for example, you want to get a product delivered to you from Amazon or Myntra. You order it, that I want this particular mobile or this particular electronic device delivered to my place. So what all things they are going to ask you? They are going to ask you your name, they are going to ask you your address, and maybe they are going to ask you your email address, mobile number, and in some of the cases your gender, right? So that will be habitat. Now, if you go for applying for a job, what all things they are going to ask you? They are going to ask you your age, they are going to ask you your gender, they are going to ask you your marital status, they are going to ask you the number of children, they are going to ask you your previous job history, they are going to ask you who all are dependent on you, they are going to definitely ask you about your address, your mobile number, your email address, all those things which you have already told to Amazon and Myntra for delivery of the parcel. So niche is that very specific thing which a person carries, or it is the part of his life. Niche, that what is your hobbies, those all things you have to tell when you are going for a job interview. But when you are going for a purchasing, they would be just asking you your address and some very basic things. So that is habitat, and niche is very specific thing about that particular person. So let us write this in the terms of biology. So habitat is actually where the organism live, and this will include biotic and abiotic factors, and it will include all the parameters, specifically address of the organism, address of the organism, that is the habitat. Now if we are saying niche, so what we are going to write in niche? All the factors. Here also, see, there also we have seen all parameters specifically in terms of address. So here all the factors which an organism require to live and reproduce in a healthy way, in a particular area is called as niche. All the factors which are actually helping this person to live in a healthy way and reproduce in a healthy way will be under niche. Like if you are saying abiotic and biotic factors, so in niche they will be very specific about defining the abiotic and biotic factors. Now in niche there will be selective parameters. Now if you are saying that a human is living on land, so so what will be all the parameters? All the parameters will include the air quality, it will include the temperature. But when we are talking about niche, it will be very specific that this is the place which it will be preferring for its reproduction and healthy survival. So selective parameters, and it also defines the profession or job of an organism, job oblique profession of an organism. So when we are saying job and profession of an organism, not in terms of actual job and profession which we take up, but the job and profession in terms of like what role I am playing to make the environment healthy or make the environment dirty, whether I am throwing the waste outside or whether I am throwing it in dustbin, whether I am limiting the use of the disposable items and going towards the sustainable usage like using steel and using glasses, or I'm just making the environment dirty. That will be considered under the job and profession of an organism, not the actual job which we do. So like for a human, what clutter we make in the environment, how are we actually damaging the environment, or when we are saying a fungus living in the environment, so what all antibiotics it is releasing in the environment. So that will be the job or profession of that particular fungus. When we are talking about man, the job and profession would be what I've told you. Then what all things plants are doing, how much oxygen they are releasing, how much oxygen we are consuming, how much carbon dioxide we are releasing, our activities, how much carbon dioxide and all we are releasing in the environment, that all will be considered under niche. And habitat will be a broader term. So habitat will be a broader term and niche is a specific term. specific term. So I hope I have cleared the idea about habitat and niche. So to sum up our lecture, let us have just a very quick revision that what all things we have done in the class. We have talked about ecology, that what is the ecology. So ecology is relation of an organism with one another and with the environment, that is ecology. Environment is all the surrounding or condition in which a person, animal or plant or bacteria or microorganism they live. Now the factors affecting the environment, or the environment is made up of what factors? So it is made up of biotic factors, the living factors, and abiotic factors, the dead factors, but which is responsible for giving rise to the biotic factors. Now ecological niche, the topic which I have written, the concept of ecological niche or concept of niche. So what is it? The basic concept which was given by Charles, he said that the role and position of an organism in its environment is its ecological niche. So what all factors will be contributing in ecological niche? Energy, nutrition, timing of activity, nesting, and condition and temperature of that environment. These all things will be included. So the discovery of the term ecological niche, or the idea or concept of ecological niche, was given by Charles Eldon in year 1970. Then there is another scientist, that is Hutchinson. So Hutchinson gave the concept of ecological niche in the light of the space it occupies. Like we are saying that a sparrow and crow, they cannot live on the same branch of a same tree. They may live on a same tree, but they'll be occupying different branches. So ecological space, he told about the concept of the ecological space. And now the niche that we consider, the whole idea includes space, role, and position. Okay. After that, types of ecological niche: fundamental and realized niche. So fundamental niche is a whole area where it can live. Realized niche is that particular place which it prefers to live. Fundamental niche is larger, realized niche is a smaller place. Then competitive exclusion principle was given by George Gauss, and it tells that no two species can occupy the same niche. Why they cannot occupy the same niche? Because of competition for food and competition for habitat. These are the two things which will make them stopping the same niche to be occupied or have a common niche. Now always there is a confusion, and there is always a tug of war between habitat and niche, and that we have cleared that habitat is a broader term actually where the organism live, including biotic and abiotic factors, and niche is all factors which an organism required to live or reproduce. And I've given a very simple concept that habitat and niche. Habitat is like if you are going for purchasing something, so what all things you need to tell over that will be actually applicable to the organism. If you are defining the habitat of an organism, so very simple things we will be included. But when we are talking about niche, so imagine that a particular organism is going for a job interview, so what all things he has to tell over there, so that will be included in niche. So like this we have completed the topic, the concept of ecological niche, and in the evening class we'll be doing a class for GATE 2021. So I'll be talking about the topic that is batch, fed batch, and continuous culture. So I hope to see you all over there in the class of GATE. And again tomorrow we'll be doing a class at 10:30 for CSIR UGC NET and 5 o'clock for GATE. So see you at that time. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed our channel, that is Let's Crack CSIR UGC NET, please subscribe our channel, hit the bell icon for getting all the notifications of the upcoming video, and just go for the plus subscription, because recently a major discount is going on, that is around 67% and 54% for 12 months and 24 months. So avail this discount. Soon the prices are going to increase from 31st of December. So go for the plus subscription, qualify the examinations, and make the most of your life. And lastly, do not forget to use my referral code, that is FP01. By using my referral code FP01, you will be getting a 10% discount. So the prices for 12 months will be around 10,000, and for 24 months it will be around 15,000. So just go for it. And if you really liked my video, give it a thumbs up, and try to watch other videos also which I have done on the channel, and watch my special classes by downloading the Unacademy learning app, and use my referral code FB01 for watching the free classes over there as well. You can get free classes, free special classes by using my referral code FB01. And lastly, a great thank you to everyone for your patient listening, and hope to see you at 5 o'clock, and till then be happy and keep on studying.